So when you're young, you're trying to figure out God's will, and that's the right thing. I mean, I totally encourage it. But don't see God's will like a tightrope. And sometimes people feel like, I have to get everything perfect, otherwise it's over. It's not. Again, back to the fact that God is sovereign, and even if you fall off, he can pick you up and put you back on. I mean, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. God's done that with all of us. And so I see God's will more like a highway. Okay, let's say you're driving on a highway that's 5 lanes. The key is, are you going north or south? Okay, and as long as you're going north, you can change lanes. So like if you love the Lord and you're in college and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a gap semester, go into another lane. As long as you're still walking with the Lord, okay. I'm going to go do an internship and see if maybe that's what I want to do. Okay, that's a good lane. You know what, actually I want to do this job. Okay. Oh, I met somebody, now I want to get married. Okay. As long as you're going north, you're good. And don't feel bad that you're changing lanes. Don't feel bad, because that's life. So for like Abraham and Sarah, they get saved and God's like, you're going to move. Okay, so they move. And then a famine hits, and so then they relocate. Okay, and then a war breaks out, so he has to go to war. But the whole time, they're still in God's will because they're going north. And so I see God as a loving Father, and as long as you're going in the direction he wants you to go, I think he's very pleased with you. So like when my kids were growing up, my understanding of their life was not that every day there was a perfect set of steps, and if they missed a step, they ruined everything. It was, no, as long as you're going the right direction, we're good. And so, yeah, and so for some of you guys, what you're talking about is almost like changing lanes. Like I was doing this and now I'm doing that. Well, for you, like I was single and then I met a guy, now I'm dating. Hey, now we're engaged and eventually I'm going to be married and then be a mom, and you're still going the same direction and you're in God's will. So as long as I think God's will is broad, not narrow. I think it's like a highway, not like a tightrope. And within that, I think there's freedom and flexibility. So like when I was 19, God spoke to me. How many of you are, anybody here 19? Okay, I was 19. God spoke to me, said, Mary Grace, preach the Bible, train men, plant churches. I did that as a college pastor. I did that as a guy without kids. I did that as a dad. I'll do that as a grandpa. I did that in Washington. I'm doing that in Arizona. I've changed lanes, but I'm still in God's will. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I want you guys to seek God's will, but I don't want you to live under so much pressure that you have to get it right the first time, every time. Okay? Because a good father is not like that. He's gonna, if you're in the wrong lane, he'll come along and be like, all right, sweetheart, over here. Okay. You know, he's there to help. It's not like God is just watching you. He's with you.